Money never sleeps. Chinese Baiju Liquor brother shares U.S. stocks. You are welcome to come to the U.S. stock exchange every day and enjoy the fun of trading. Buddha said, control your position, never be radical.
If you can decide, it's up to you to auction, but I have to tell you, memory is the mailbox of AI. Without sufficient large and fast memory, even the most powerful GPU won't be able to perform well. Just like the kerosene engine. You think the bottleneck of AI is GPU. In fact, it can't remember. Just like when you play games, no matter how powerful your graphics card is, if your memory is insufficient, it will lag and freeze like a PPT. Today's topic is AI. The world seriously underestimated memory. The heart is the same. In the coming years, the most powerful superstar in the semiconductor industry will be HBM, which stands for high bandwidth memory. Why is high bandwidth memory so important? You see, the larger the love model is, the more temporary memory is needed for reasoning. Analyze an image. The image has to drop tens of millions of parameters simultaneously to generate a long article. You also have to remember all the previous context. At this point, the bandwidth of ordinary gram memory is simply not sufficient. It's just like when you use a 2-gram network to watch 4K videos and it's so slow that you start to doubt your life. The essence of high bandwidth memory is to stack DRAM chips layer by layer precisely. Stacked precisely, it directly triples the load. To put it in a simple analogy, regular memory is like drinking water through a straw. High bandwidth memory is like opening a fire hydrant, as AI needs to process massive amounts of data. Without this fire hydrant, it's impossible to turn. Now, the global memory industry is rounding the supercycle of high bandwidth memory, but it can be used to make high bandwidth memory. There are only 3 companies in the inner layer worldwide: Samsung SK, Hynix, Baywang. It's not that others don't want to do it, it's just this thing. The threshold is too high. Lamination. To achieve the ultimate secrets, the yield rate must be high. The heat dissipation must be stable and the power consumption should be low. Only those who can successfully achieve all these balance points at the same time are qualified to serve as the memory center of the AI. I find that the threshold of this industry is much higher than I imagined. It requires breakthroughs in multiple fields such as materials science, precision manufacturing, thermodynamics, and management. This is why only 3 players worldwide have formed a stable oligopoly structure. Not just anyone can come in and have a slice of the cake. However, this super cycle is only halfway through. The demand side has no worries about the supply side at all. The 3 are also making great efforts. However, the only risk to be noted is that once all 3 companies achieve mass production and are certified by the customers, the prices are bound to drop significantly. For entrepreneurs and startups, they can take a look at the supporting roles in the memory industry chain, such as testing equipment for high bandwidth memory. It involves materials as well as packaging technology. These steps, on the contrary, are more likely to lead to disruptive innovations and create opportunities for a reduction in complexity. In essence, in the AI era, computing power determines speed, while memory determines the level. Just as Tesla not only requires powerful motors but also advanced battery technology. The future of this technology will not only require faster GPUs, but also revolutionary memory solutions. What do you think is the greatest opportunity in the memory industry? Welcome to the comment section to chat. A marked turn. Moreover, this shift was not decided arbitrarily by any single company, nor was it caused by a sudden change in the capital market trend. Instead, it occurred across various stages, including startups, research teams, the industrial sector, and the application sector. Over the past 2 years, everyone has been gradually being pushed along by reality towards the same direction. If you break down the time into pairs, 3 years ago, the core topic discussed in the AI by the technology community was only 2 words: model. Which one's protein structure prediction was more accurate? Which one had a stronger generative model? The more papers one has, the more likely to be in the spotlight. But in the past year, I have noticed a very obvious change. Can everyone gradually stop directing the model, please, and repeatedly ask a more realistic question? Can AI really make medicine? Note that the medicine mentioned here is not the concept in the paper. It is not the molecular structure within the cap, nor the potential diagram on the PPT, but a real drug project that can be advanced, can be verified, and can gradually move towards clinical application. But this does not mean that models have suddenly become unimportant. On the contrary, it is a mold, a model. It has become so important that it is turning into an infrastructure. As more and more high-level models become open source, available for hire, and shared, relying fully on. As it's becoming increasingly difficult to maintain a long-term advantage with a more powerful model, you will find that the matter of models is happening. A very subtle change. It has shifted from a core selling point to a default starting point. So the industry will naturally move on to the next question. What comes after the model? The straightforward answer is, does the molecule want who? Can the results of the algorithm be transformed into something in the real world? So you will see a very realistic change. More and more. UEL Pharmaceutical Company no longer focuses on me. What models are there? Instead, he began to repeatedly emphasize which celebrities I currently have as endorsements, and which projects have already entered human trials. What is the next step in the clinical pathway? This is also why 2026 is repeatedly mentioned in the industry. It's not because this particular year is particularly special, but because a large number of projects have just been completed at this point in time. It's time to enter the stage that truly needs to be verified. To put it simply, in the previous decade or so, the industry proved whether AI could be delivered. What lies ahead is whether AI can actually perform the tasks, and in fact, this is a stage that any technology goes through when it moves towards industrialization. In the early days, what was compared was imagination and possibility. In the medium term, what matters is the implementation and execution plan. From then on, what will be compared is definitely the outcome. AI and biotechnology are also charting their own courses, from being able to predict to being able to design, and then to being able to deliver. But there is a very crucial point here that needs to be made clear. This shift is not a rejection of the model. Rather, it represents the industry collectively asking a more mature question. What else is needed beyond the model? It's not complicated, but it's not easy either. That includes engineering capabilities, experience in drug development, clinical design skills, and long-term collaboration abilities. These things cannot be replaced by AI, but their efficiency can be enhanced. So I prefer to interpret this change as a single statement. AI is no longer regarded as a panacea, but has begun to be seen as a part of the research and development system. What does this mean? What does it mean that AI biotechnology is moving beyond the stage of storytelling? The stage when the assignment is due, 2026. It's not the end, nor is it any kind of grand finale. It is more like a periodic health checkup, like a crucial moment in the college entrance examination. What he is testing is not whether AI is useful or not, but the real world itself. Can AI truly integrate into the drug development process, be incorporated into complex systems, and operate in conjunction with human procedures and rules? So, what do you think about AI in the field of pharmaceuticals? Ultimately, is it the model's capability or the execution ability after entering clinical practice that determines the outcome? The review bureau held a chat. They didn't hold a press conference, didn't launch new products, but instead gathered a group of developers together and held a live stream discussion that was almost confrontational. The truly important aspect of this conversation is not the technical details, but rather that he publicly admitted something, that OpenAI has taken a wrong turn on this path. He said that they once thought they were creating a good model, but in the end they almost ended up with a model that was poorly balanced. Let me give you a conclusion first. What AI will truly have a profound impact on is not a specific profession, but the rules by which humans create and operate. Why do you say so? I'll admit it this time. In the appropriate GPT-5 series model, they focused a great deal of effort on enhancing the reasoning and programming abilities of the managers. As a result, the ability to write was sacrificed. The writing referred to here is not about literary style, but about logic. Is the expression clear? Is the communication smooth and efficient? Forwardly. In the real world, you have AI do the work. It's not just that his code is correct, you also need him. He can clearly state the requirements of the Earth, explain the plan in detail, and convince people with logic. Otherwise, no matter how intelligent he is just an exam. The machine cannot go on the production line. So he said, OpenAI. The next step will surely bring the model back from being specialized in one area to a truly general-purpose model. The second transformation is even more crucial. Altman repeatedly emphasized one thing. In the future, there will be a large number of software tailored specifically for individuals. You don't have to wait for a big company to do the function for you. All you need to do is say, I want a tool that can automatically organize, collect customer feedback, generate weekly reports, and remind me to follow up with AI, and I can create it for you right here on the spot. What does this mean? It means that one can do it at an extremely low cost. What used to be achievable only by large companies will bring about significant deflationary benefits. In simple terms, the threshold for creation has been broken through. But there are also drawbacks here. Because once you do it, it becomes as easy as posting on social media. The only thing that truly men have to do to get others to notice them is, Ultramen spoke very clearly, I can bring the development costs down to rock bottom. But human attention remains a resource as scarce as the laws of physics. So in the future, what will be most valuable is not code. Not a tool, but a good idea. The real pain points and the ability to capture attention. The third point is the one that requires your utmost vigilance throughout the entire exchange. According to Ultraman's list, the most alarming risk in 2026 is biosecurity. The current mainstream practice in the industry is still to block, that is, to restrict permissions. The classifier is subject to the red line. But he said that this approach wouldn't last long. The future must adopt a different mindset, one called resilience. Safety is like human beings facing a fire. In the end, it's not about starting a fire, but rather about establishing a fire protection system, using fire-resistant materials, and implementing regulations. This applies to personnel as well. Use AI for monitoring, and let AI use infrastructure to counteract the risks posed by infrastructure. Finally, he said one very important thing, especially for parents to listen to. He believes that there should be no computers in kindergartens, let alone AI. The most important things for children are running, jumping, communicating, and building a perception of the real world. We still haven't fully understood the long-term impact of social media on teenagers. There's even less reason to rush. Offer the bait. So, you see. Ultraman, this live broadcast, in essence, is just repeating the same thing over and over again. The rules of the AI era are being reset. The model needs to shift from being specialized in one area to being well-rounded. Software needs to shift from providing a single version for everyone to being tailored to your specific needs. Society should shift from blocking risks to fostering freedom. In fact, this is also very consistent with the thinking of the Nanai Swarm intelligence system, because essentially it is the same. This approach is not merely about allowing the AI to chat with you. Instead, it is about ensuring safety while enabling the AI agents to work collaboratively, completing tasks effectively. It also enables each individual to easily create their own digital employee and can command dozens of agents to work together for you at any time. Finally, I would like to ask you this. Once you have mastered the method for easily creating the exclusive tools for Nano AI intelligent agents, please let me know in which aspect this will enable you to work independently, in the comment section. Let's talk about the employee incident. Overnight sensation. Some people say that he is the real Iron Man. Some people also say that this is not a human activity. Some people even say that it is the greatest AI application to date. But let me make a judgment first. This is not just another simple AI tool. Lively. Instead, I'm telling you again that intelligent agents have really started to take up their posts. This thing is called a cloud board. Some people even set up a complete local computing environment just to run it. More than 10 devices were deployed at one time. It's not for playing games, but for raising one that never sleeps 24/7. An AI digital employee can be understood as it doesn't reside within the web pages or chat boxes, but rather within your computer and mobile phone. And what about the second largest one? You send him a message, and not only does he reply to you, but he also goes to work and keeps an eye on his email. Li Yucheng unsubscribes from spam emails, writes scripts, and even helps you eliminate a bunch of paid tools directly. But what really matters is not how cool he looks, but rather the meaning of the words he says. The real trump card. The core of it is still me. But as I seem to have told everyone before, why did the AI agent say so? Because today the vast majority of people use. In fact, it still remains at the level of a tool that merely answers questions one by one. Human mode. You ask him, and he answers. If you don't ask, he'll act as if you don't exist. Without long-term memory, it won't bring up things on its own initiative, nor will it carry out tasks. To put it bluntly, no matter how smart they are, such people are only good at chatting and can't get any real work done. And agents are completely different. In short, it's just 3 key words. Remember well, be proactive, and be able to get things done. Note that none of them can be missing if it is to be considered an intelligent agent. And the most challenging aspect of this is to complete all 3 tasks mentioned above at once. First, Siri can still remember the person you like as an object, but a goldfish forgets as soon as it turns its head. CloudBook will take care of your preferences and your trivial matters. You casually mentioned 2 weeks ago that you wanted to unsubscribe from the news emails. I've noted it down. You don't have to teach it how to be a person all over again every day. Well, the more he uses it, the better he understands it. You came second, and he was completely proactive. Ordinary AI will always wait for you to click on it. Cloud Boss, on the other hand, will come looking for you. You have 3 urgent emails. It's going to rain tomorrow in 20 minutes. Do you want to change the itinerary? Put it bluntly, it has changed from the previous situation where you sought out AI to the current one where it is keeping a close eye on you. It should be noted that this step is extremely crucial. The key is that only in this way can it be like a truly useful personal assistant. Third, and the most explosive, it doesn't give you suggestions. Rather, it enables your authorized prostate to actually access your files, execute commands, write scripts, and run processes. For instance, if someone complains that the subscription fee for a certain WAP service is too high, then suggest that he simply create a scheduled task locally. If it's a task, just replace 5 minutes and get it done right away. Did you understand? This is the essence of an intelligent agent. It's not about answering questions, but taking over the task. It's not about giving advice, but delivering results. So you will see all kinds of outrageous but real cases. Some people assigned him tasks such as managing the tea shop's schedule, following up with customers, managing the inventory, and handling customer service. Someone took control of him. Then he would automatically adjust the boiler according to the weather, so there was no need to take a cold shower. There are still people lying in bed watching TV series and sending a few messages. Tell him to reload the website. What you think is showing off is actually productivity. The structure is changing. That is, one person starts to direct a bunch of intelligent agents to do the work. So what does this mean for us? This means that by 2026, in the year 2026, VIPs are no longer judged by who is better at chatting or who has more parameters. Rather, it is whose intelligent agent is more reliable, more controllable, faster, and better at getting things done. In the future, you won't have to constantly open a bunch of apps to click on various functions. Instead, a nano AI agent will run the processes for you in the background, assist you with tools, and monitor the results for you. The software is shifting from a one-time delivery model to an on-demand generation model based on tasks. So, what exactly do you need? Nanometer AI intelligent agents can be combined on the spot, generated on the spot, used and gone. The cost is getting lower and lower. In conclusion, the most worthless thing in the era of love is repetitive labor. The most valuable thing is that you have to be proficient in commanding an intelligent entity like Nano Grandpa. You need to be able to understand the questions, set goals, break down tasks, make judgments, and verify the results. If you can do all these, you won't be the one replaced by. And that is an indispensable role in leading the team of intelligent agents into battle. Finally, I have one question for you. If you have a 7 times 24-hour intelligent employee, what tasks would you most like this employee to handle first? Let's chat in the comment section. So surprising, so surprising, so surprising. This one is a bit. What's this called again? Oh, I was so astonished that my jaw dropped.
Hello，大家好，我是小优米，我是一凡摄影会中的一员，有喜欢拍我的可以过来。
第一位小优米推荐的是 GEV 燃气轮机的龙头。
大家好，我是美月，是一凡摄影会的一员，接下来我会参加一凡老师的摄影会。
第二位美月推荐的是 XOM， 也就是埃克森美孚啊，最近油价都非常强，所以说埃克森美孚应该 XOM 会涨得不错。
Hello，大家好，我是春梦小队员，我是一凡摄影会中的一员，接下来我会。
第三位小柜员啊，推荐的是 SU， 也是一家能源天然气石油公司。昨天大家都看到了啊，天然气是在暴涨，所以说他应该是推荐的这一支。
大家好，我是车拉，接下来我会参加一凡摄影会的拍摄活动，喜欢我的可以过来拍我哟。
第四位科罗拉这个小妹子推荐的是做空 IONQ 啊，咱们说了太多的逻辑了啊，她也很认同这个观点。
这也会。
第五位，这位苏州小汤圆，他推荐的是 CRWV，也就是英伟达最近刚入股的一家公司，数据中心行业。第六位妹子推荐的是 MU 啊，也就是存储芯片这个板块。
大家好，我是袁文瑶瑶，接下来我会参加一凡摄影师的考试活动。
第七位原味瑶瑶，这位妹子推荐的是苹果 AAPL。第八位啊，推荐的是一只神秘的股。第八位啊，推荐的就是康宁，今天还会大涨。康宁啊，看看。